That's right. It is the morning show right here on Facebook Live, Periscope TV, YouTube Live, and LinkedIn Live. I appreciate each and every one of you. On today's show, we got lots to talk about. We got Mr. Jesse Sanchez over there. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
So, Jesse, look, there's a lot of questions that I need answered, of course, just because it's Friday, and I got a question. How are you going to spend your, I believe it's Labor Day, is it not?
I believe it is.
Yeah, so I've been wondering for quite some time what to do this full weekend, and I think I'm doing it moving out entirely. So I have no idea where I'm going to go. If anybody has a room for rent, I think I need your advice as to where in the world should I go? That's kind of the question of the week. But look, the rest of you, I appreciate you as well. Thank you for tuning in. We got Katia Vanderlyn. We've got Alejandro Patino. We've got Sandy Villanueva, Stephanie Reed. Thank you for tuning in. We got McCool tuning in. Thank you. Let's see, we've got quite a few of you talking in there and chatting it up. Today, we are going to spend some time talking about world news. Yes, there's a lot of world news going on, including what you can do to stay safe during coronavirus. Now, some people are getting really ready for the Labor Day weekend. Yay! But again, we want to just not throw caution to the wind. Very important. I know Dr. Fauci and others are starting to say, uh-oh, are we going to just go back to the way it was? Remember July 4th, the big question. Do you remember, Jesse? We were kind of like, uh-oh, is there going to be a spike after that? And then what did we end up seeing, Jesse?
Yeah, we ended up seeing a giant spike.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so that's the question of the week. But remember, it usually has like a 2-week trial period. So here's what I say. If you're going to get, together with friends and family, just do so safely. And again, remember, anybody can possibly have it even though they're not showing symptoms. And who knows, have one of those. You know what, yesterday, Jesse, I actually went to a really cool place in Whittier, and I posted it on my social media. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, you'll see the post. And I really like what they did with the place. It is Bizarra Capital, or Bizarra Capital. And it is great tacos. Like, these tacos are delicious. These are not like regular tacos. They're kind of more like gourmet-ish tacos, if you know what I mean. And, okay. I mean, what do you like on your tacos, Jesse?
I don't know. I like a lot of things. So it all depends on the meat that's in there. So I like to add little things like onions, tomatoes. But like I said, you can throw whatever you want on a taco. So I like a lot of things.
Yeah, I agree 100%, but I do know this. We've got to take a quick break. We'll talk about that just around the corner right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right, for those of you tuning in, we are on our commercial break here. Let's see, just want to make sure you guys are hearing me good. I know our volumes are, this facility, I love the facility, I do. There's just different people using the facility all the time. So whenever settings get changed around, they get changed around. So it's up to me. I'm running the whole show by myself, just so you guys know. And I think, and I've been having discussions with people that, well, let's put it this way. I'll talk about it another time. I think the majority of you are just here to watch, not like conduct business. But Jesse, you know what I'm seeing a lot of? I'm seeing a lot of people have podcasting.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Wonder what they're talking about. Yeah, there's so many podcasts, different subjects and stuff, so doesn't hurt to listen to somebody.
Well, and we live in a day and age where you can actually make it so that you can eventually run everything 100% virtually.
Nice.
So it requires the amount of legwork. It requires the amount of testing. I think I know where the problem is here in this studio. I got to turn up the volume over there. So
20 seconds.
I don't have time. Okay, cool.
Nope.
Thank you.
5 seconds. Maybe if you had like a tracksuit on.
A tracksuit. What?
Yeah, so you can start running. 2 seconds.
That's right. It's the morning show right here on ABC News Radio KUT 1490 AM. Joining our live audience there on social media, wherever you're tuning in, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Periscope TV, whether it be, I don't know, anywhere you find us. We appreciate you. Yesterday, I had a really interesting conversation. If you haven't seen it yet, go to my Instagram feed. Very interesting conversation. We actually had this group of people. It's called The Shift Show. It's a great discussion between professionals, young teens, or young adults, talking about everything from depression to anxiety to suicidal thoughts, bullying, which of course can lead to a lot of dismay in any one person, and many other things that our youth are facing today. And it was about a good 40-minute conversation, which it was meant to be only a 10 or 15-minute conversation, but it just went next level, next level, next level. We had some very interesting questions from the audience, which I do beg you to go and check it out. And maybe, you might learn something. A lot of people often ask me, what do I do in the event that, what do I do, for example, if somebody is feeling bad or they're feeling so sad that they want to almost basically want to end their life. And that discussion actually happened really raw on my Instagram live show there. So it's IGTV. I went to a park and was able to have this discussion with the executive producer and creator of the Shift series, which is a very impactful one. She herself is a social worker, so she's seen a lot of things, and I highly recommend that you go check that out, especially if you or someone you know has gone through feelings of depression, suicidal thoughts, and or angry all the time, frustrated, mad, upset. There was a discussion how I remember with the little 7-year-old, he was bullied, and this was happening at school, and we had to have a discussion, and the discussion was simply, sometimes you don't know what the other kids are going through. And we got Mr. Jesse Sanchez over there. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
So, did you get bullied in school, or were you the bullier?
No, I didn't have a stable bully, but I had moments where I was bullied, yes, in school.
Yeah. I was bullied a lot, but here's where I learned really quick and fast. I think it was in 4th grade, and in 4th grade, I actually was constantly like the butt of this guy's jokes, like 100%. This guy, and I remember his name. I don't want to say his last name in case he follows me now. Christopher was his first name. Okay. Chris is what we kind of called him, but Christopher. So Chris was a bully to everyone. And for some reason, he was always a bully to me. So one day, my dad actually gave me a can of mace. Have you ever been shot in the eyes with mace, Jesse?
Not directly, but when I was a kid, we did find a can of mace, sprayed it around, and walked through it. So, yeah.
That's smart. Okay. And you know what? I think everybody should at least be, if you're going to shoot it, you should know what it's like. So my dad gave me this, though, for dogs and or strangers. My dad was very protective of me. My stepdad I'm talking about. And so he gave me this mace, and he's like, only use it in an emergency, right? Mm-hmm. Well, this bully wanted to throw down right after school, and I'm like, well, what else do I have in my backpack? So to help me in this situation. So here's the thing. I was kind of smart because I says, You don't want to come near me. Trust me on this. I said that. And he's like, what? And he threw down his backpack, did his thing, rolled up his sleeves, ready to just come at me. So I said, I'm warning you. And I think I warned him like once, twice, maybe 3 times. And then he's like, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it, you little wimp? And I took out the can of mace and sprayed him. It was this, I don't know how much I sprayed. He's like, what? And then he screamed like a girl, Jesse. He screamed like a girl. I kid you not. He was, ah! And it was just like, ah! And I was like, ah! Because I ran. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I didn't know it was going to have that effect. So, Jesse, look, I mean, when you get hit up like that, seriously, I mean, what are you going to do? Are you just going to, leave it in your backpack? Or are you going to do the right thing and say, look, I don't want to cause you physical harm, so I'm just going to, kind of mace your eyes?
Nope, mace the eyes. Let it rip.
So, I mean, okay. So long story short, or made a little longer because I'm starting to remember this word for word. So I ran with my good friend. His name was Jason, all right? He and I were like really good buddies. And he's like, dude, you totally took that guy out. Like, what was in that stuff? I'm like, I don't know. My dad gave it to me. He said, whenever it's an emergency, use it. I thought that was an emergency. We ran so fast because we knew, oh no, I'm going to get in trouble. Oh no. So I'm walking up the hill. And this is a long hill. I got all my backpack. And so I'm like, I think it's why I have a bad back. Parents out there, do not put lots of books in your kids' backpacks. It'll give them a bad back. Anyway, long story short, so I would run up or tried as much. It was a steep incline. So me and my friend, he's like, dude, that was so awesome. I'm like, I am in so much trouble. He cried like a little girl. Granted, he went and ran over into those little ones where you would wait in line and you would actually wait for the water and you'd wait for the person in front of you to be like, save some for the whales. Because, it was one of those. So I don't know how long it took for him to get that can of mace out of his eyes, but it was no fun. Jesse, what would you do if you were the protagonist?
So if I was you?
No, I think he was the protagonist. I was the protagonist, if that's a word.
Antagonist.
Either way. Okay, so fast forward, right? I get home. I'm like, Mom, Dad, need to tell you something. I just maced a kid, and boy, oh boy, he hurt. And they're like, well, why? Well, he wanted to beat me up. Oh, well, then good. I was like, oh, really? Oh, Mom, your dad? I thought I was going to be in trouble with them. Immediately, the school called, Jesse. They were like, so your son did something he shouldn't have been doing. And kid you not, I went into I think it was the principal's office. There was I think it's a cop or a sheriff there. And there were a couple others. I can't remember the full story. But Chris was outside, sitting in the hallway, just kind of sad and upset. His mom was in the hallway as well. And I was like, but evidently he got talked to, I think, after me. And I said, my dad gave it to me. He told me to use it in an emergency. I thought it was an emergency, so I didn't know what to do. And he was like, well, and I remember the principal to this day. His name was Mr. Police. Literally, that was his name. And Mr. Police said, well, yeah, okay. Well, we're not allowed to bring things like that to school. This is back. You have to understand, I was, born in 77, do the math, I was late 80s, okay? That was the version of trying to fight back. I didn't have a gun, I had a can of mace. Do you understand where I'm going with, Jesse?
Yep, I know where you're going.
Now, the problem with that, obviously, is I think I set up the world in a really bad spot because now everybody's retaliating in more severe ways. But mine was just a can of mace. Now, back to the reason I'm sharing this story, Jesse. About 2 years later, Chris comes up to me, and I felt so bad because he had glasses on. I'm like, oh, did I do that? Which I used to wear glasses as well. So now he's wearing glasses. He'd always call me Four Eyes, but I'm like, oh man, you kind of look good in those glasses though, I thought in my head. So he came up to me and he says, you know what, I just want to say I'm sorry for what happened that day. He apologized to me. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to he goes, no, that really a lot of stuff happened, and there was a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. That part he didn't tell me, but I could tell he was a victim of physical abuse from his own family members. Because in reality, why does a kid lash out like that? Why are they hateful? Why are they beat up on other kids? They got to see it from somewhere. To which I say to all kids that get bullied, I feel sorry for you. Back to the 7-year-old, the other one that bullied him was a girl. She was bullying him. And then there was a boy. He was bullying him as well. And I'm like, how many bullies you got in this school? My goodness. So the question that always begs itself, what do parents do in order to allow that type of behavior to continue? Or what do they do at the house that nobody wants people to know about? To which I say, again, to all the social workers out there that are trying to do the right thing, just trying to make people at least be accountable for their actions. To which I say, we do have a lot of bullies, but often the bullies see it from somebody higher up than them. Whether it's a husband beating up his wife, whether it's anger or madness or sadness in the kid's heart. You know, we talked about this, and the reason this is so fresh in my mind is this conversation. I asked the executive producer of this show, how young have you seen kids commit suicide? And she said at the young, tender age of 6.
What?
That's a hard pill to swallow, Jesse. That's a super hard pill to swallow. When you hear that, what does that make you think, Jesse?
Yeah, no words can describe it. I was just 6 years old. Hearing that from a 6-year-old saying, I want to die, is just something I cannot fathom.
And, you know, the thought has happened quite some time. We remember seeing the young kid, and I remember a lot of people said, oh, he's an actor. He's just acting like he's getting bullied, blah, blah, blah. He's trying to get a lot of attention. To which I say, you know what? Why would you say that in the end? Because you weren't the one bullied. You have no idea what that's like. Now, if you have been on the recipients or receiving end of a bully, you know full well it's one of those things that you just have to do what? You have to somewhat put up with it, right? To some I say, look, I understand and I get it. Sometimes some people have thick skin, they get thick skin. Some bodybuilders, if you ask, I think at least more than half why they are bodybuilders, you'll find out something very interesting about them. I've had so many very strong, muscular individuals on our show, and I usually ask them behind the scenes or off camera, so why did you get so strong and or buff? What was that moment that made you want to get really powerful? And oftentimes, Jesse, especially those that learn martial arts, they often say, it's because I was bullied as a kid. And so in some ways, some can take that type of bully, that type of frustration, that type of anger, and channel it in such a way that now they not only are a good human being, but they know what it's like to be bullied, so now they know what to do if it happens to them again, right? So throughout life, there are bullies, period, end of story. That is 100% fact, unfortunately, because young kids grow up to be young adults, which grow up to be angry people. Let's just put it that way. Can they be helped? Yes, 100%. You don't have to be angry all of your life. You can turn around. I 100% believe that. Just back to Chris's story. Do I believe Chris is a better person now for having it called into question his behavior? Did they end up addressing it at that time and perhaps solving something behind the scenes? To which I say, I hope so. I don't know the full story. But Chris is a prime example who, let's see, if we were in 4th grade and then he came back to me in 6th grade, we must have been, what age is that approximately, Jesse?
4th grade, 6th grade, I don't know, 10?
Okay, so thereabouts, right? Maybe 10, maybe 8, I don't know. I don't know the story with numbers, maybe 11. But my point is this. At that age, he was able to have intervention, and as bad as, and trust me, I felt bad about his eyes. I really did, because I'm like, did I ruin his eyes? Which I might have. I apologize, profusely. But back to Chris. Chris is a prime example of if you nip it in the bud when they're young, most likely they will have a rehabilitated life for the rest of time. True or not true? I would say true. So back to the little 7-year-old, when I said this, I said, I think that young kid, boy and girl, are having a hard time in school because maybe they're having a hard time at home. What do you think? He thought for a minute. Yeah, I think you're right. He needs love. And in that moment, I said, thank you, you get it. Now, that doesn't mean like take the punch, take the punch, take the punch. I say counter the punch, right? And then push back. But anyway, it is a thing. Look, people, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back right after these messages with more. Stay tuned right after this. We'll be right back. All right, for those of you tuning in, we got Mr. Jesse Sanchez over there, just kicking it up over there. And Jesse, what are your plans this weekend? Tell me.
I was just gonna relax. I think I need take a mental day, and just recoup the brain.
I'll be honest, I'm ready for a party. I'm ready to get down, get down, get down, get down. Okay, I'm not going to go that far down. But I just, I'm right there with you. I don't know if I'm going to head to the beach, maybe in the morning. Oh, I will say this. I completely forgot. Thank you for reminding me. Instagram Live. I'm going to be live tomorrow at 9 o'clock with another really cool. She's the host of this show, the Shift series. Super excited to spend time with her. I was supposed to have her on yesterday, but I forgot, and the other conversation was so good. So it's part 2 of what I'm going to call a really impactful conversation. So I invite you to come on to the show on Instagram. Follow me at Aaron M. Sanchez. And, be part of the discussion. If you or someone you know is having thoughts and or feelings of just depression. We don't even have to talk about suicide. Just depression, right? Because depression, if you get depressed, that's usually the next precursor to hopefully hope, but sometimes it goes in the other direction. So let's just focus on the depression, right? I know a lot of people are being depressed right now because of the situation that we're in. And sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes there's situations you can't fix. There's just some situations that we were talking about molestation, we were talking about what happens if you're the victim of abuse, right? Whether it be physical and or mental abuse, toxic relationships, and then coronavirus, right? Coronavirus just makes everything just horrendous. So this conversation we had very impactfully on the Instagram. Again, I recommend that you go check it out. And if you have some time, I think you'll find it very encouraging. But tomorrow we're going to do it live. I'm not sure where I'm going to do it from. I might do it from the beach. I just don't know which beach at 9 a.m. But if you guys have suggestions on cool beaches that are open, let me know, okay? But the host is, she's very big on social media. She's got over 1 million. Maybe not as, I think she will after she watches our show.
2 seconds.
All right, thanks, Jesse. That's right. It's the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. Joining our live audience over there on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in. However you're tuning in, we appreciate you. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and much, much more. I think we're coming to Stitcher, which means you can listen to us in your vehicles. A lot of those vehicles currently have Stitcher ready to go, so you can just program us really quick, really fast. I'll send you guys the link on my social media platforms. Feel free to add us at any time, and let us know where you're tuning in from. Speaking of tuning in, we've got some people tuning in right now. I'm looking at you guys on my iPhone. Gordon Hyatt says, good morning from Indianapolis. Says, Indiana has a beach on Lake Michigan. It's considered one of the top beaches in the world that nobody knows about. You know what? Who knows? I might go take a travel tour across the country. Who knows? Maria tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Bert Lopez, Elizabeth Ramos, James Masuka, Beatrix Logan, Yvonne Trigos Walker, Alejandro Patino, Sarasa, David Page, Blanca Rivera, Don Lewis Montgomery, Heidi Nixon, Doreen Ornelas Amesqua, Elizabeth Gonzalez, Sandy Villanueva says, oh my God, I was once there in 1984. It's a selfish act, but you don't think about anything but ending it. Oh, we're talking about Hitting rock bottom. I got it. Well, and here's the thing. For those of you just tuning in, we are having a very quick discussion about something that I had on my Instagram Live show. But we have them on, if you watch regularly. It's called The Shift Show. Go find them on social media. They need the love. They need the support as well. What they wanted to do was get a bus, put in a bunch of teenagers, young adults, right, into a bus and kind of travel with this bus, getting the stories from people in the little communities, just sharing their stories, not necessarily getting solutions all the time, but rather just saying, look, feel free to share and know that you're not alone. And I think that was the message at the end of the show that we did yesterday on my Instagram Live. And so if you want to follow me and follow that discussion, it's right there. But here's what I say. Whenever people are very open and honest about getting or hitting rock bottom, even the most positive people that you see in life, I think that there's a fine line between becoming so positive and becoming overly positive where people are like, you just don't get my life, right? So I say this to you, if you're a very positive person, I applaud you for that, because at some point you made the decision to become positive. I'm not saying naive. Naive is a whole other story, right? I talk to naive people all the time, like those that go, coronavirus, it's fake. Coronavirus, it's a hoax. That's naivety, okay? Or naivety? I don't know. Naivety. Which way is it, Jesse? Naivety or naivety?
Naive. I have no idea.
Are you sure you don't want to take a stab at it?
Naive. No, I'm not going to take a crack at it.
Naivety? I don't know. 20 people are probably suggesting the correct way to say it. I know everybody's like, how do you say that word? Okay, so look, don't be naive. That's the number one. But be positive. Sometimes some positive people, I feel, are a little bit naive because, well, back to the way it was, right? Everybody wanted to go back to the way it was back in, what was that? April? Yeah, that's right. Because Easter was around the corner. I mean, Jesus and the Easter bunny and funness. Everybody's like, let's have fun, right? So, but again, I kept telling people here on the show, way back when, I said, just remember, don't throw caution to the wind, wear your face mask. And how many people ever listened to that? I hope the majority of you did, and I hope you are returning because you did. But again, not that is the end-all be-all, 100% not the end-all be-all, but it certainly reduces the risk, especially if everybody wears it, right? Okay, so enough about that. But more on this. If you or someone you know is feeling down, we're not even going to use the word depressed. And here's why I don't like using the word depressed. Depressed, in my mind, makes it as though you're so depressed, there's no way to get out from under, ever. But if you're down, you can get back up. What do you think about that theory, Jesse? Good idea, bad idea, or not so good?
No, I want to believe that if you're feeling down, there's always ways of getting back up there. It's just having to look at yourself and be like, yeah, I'm sad. I need help. Some people that are depressed don't even want to ask for help because I guess it would make them feel weak or embarrassed. So
I'm glad you said that because honestly, that was the other discussion that we had on this series, which again, I'm going to have tomorrow. For those of you tuning in, follow me on Instagram. And about 9 a.m. to about 9:40, I'm going to have another conversation with the host of this series, but we're going to be very raw about things not just happening hopefully in other people's lives, but also happening maybe in your own life. I know I was very raw yesterday on my own Instagram Live, and I oftentimes am, and for those of you tuning in, I do want you to know I understand what it's like to hit rock bottom. I understand what it's like to want to end it quite suddenly, because I was there about 14 years ago. And about 14 years ago, it was so bad, I did not want to continue living. However, as much as time has come back around again, and there's been so much happening in my own life, like literally everything hit the wall, literally for me. But I know this much, I'm not going to give up, I'm going to continue pushing forward. To which some people say, well, pushing forward isn't really a good thing. And here's what I say. Sometimes it's the only thing you got. Until you have the people in your life, until you have... Well, let's face it, Jesse. Let me ask you something.
Yep.
Have you ever been depressed?
Yes.
Have you ever felt joy?
Yes.
Have you ever felt anger?
Oh, yeah.
Love?
Yes.
Suffering?
I'm going to say no.
Maybe mental suffering?
Yeah, mental suffering more than physical suffering.
Anxiety?
Yes.
What about just being in the moment and just enjoying the moment for the moment that it is?
That was actually hard for me to do back in the days.
And now?
A lot easier.
Okay. The reason I ask that is, Jesse, you and I are the same.
Yeah.
And I think the majority of people watching and or listening on the radio are the same as well. I think the majority of people can identify with each and every emotion that we just spoke about, but in different ways. The circumstances change, but the feelings are almost the same. It just depends on where we're at in the stream of time, right, in our own lives. Some of us get married, some of us get divorced, some of us have families, some of us don't have families, some of us had families, some of us don't have families, some of us have a lot of money, some of us don't have a lot of money. We're feeling the pain there, right? Anxiety. How are we gonna pay for tomorrow's meal? And then on the flip side of that, how am I going to invest and not lose all my money, right? So whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whatever side you're on, it almost doesn't matter because the feelings are almost consistent across the board. Although you may say, well, you got it easy. You got lots of money. Yeah, but maybe their marriage is suffering. Maybe their partner cheated on them. Maybe they were the partner that cheated on the other person. Maybe there's so many things that could be happening behind the scenes that could cause them to feel this way. So don't ever rob somebody of the way they feel just because they feel that in the moment that they feel it. But give them and inspire them to do better in their own life. What do I mean by that? Well, you know what? We got to take a quick break. I'll come back with that just right after these messages. I feel somebody out there needs it, not just me. All right, we'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, if we're with you right now, it's during our commercial break. So we got Jesse Sanchez over there actually making sure we are on time. And Jesse, how long you been broadcasting for?
Let's see. Officially here for a year, and I started out doing a small-time local radio show for about a year before this. So about 2 years total in the radio thing.
Well, and the reason I ask, Jesse, is because you are so amazing. I'm going to hand off the show to you eventually at some point. Okay? I'm saying that here on the show. I've already made my mental fortitude that that's where we're going because I saw your interview on Wednesday and I says, oh man, he's got what it takes to have his own show. So, Jesse, within about 6 months, you're going to take over my job. Got it?
We'll see.
Oh, that's cool.
We don't want you gone, but
I don't know. I think everybody should applaud for Jesse because he did really good. If you haven't seen the interview, go check it out. He and I did a little co-hosting there, which, I don't usually do, but I do with Jesse because he's got such a positive vibe. No matter what is happening, Jesse's always like, he makes everybody laugh behind the scenes. He really does. And he's one of those guys that you want to have on your team no matter what. When zombie apocalypse comes, he's the guy that goes, oh, that guy needs a toothbrush. He's that guy, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I guarantee I'd probably make a joke like that before we die.
Yeah, exactly.
10 seconds.
All right. Big shout out to Elizabeth tuning in. Good morning. You made a mistake. Don't make the mistake again. Just kidding. Magda tuning in. Pat tuning in.
2 seconds.
Miro. All right. Welcome back. It is the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live audience there, Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, LinkedIn, and of course, wherever else. I can't remember all the places. But here's what I want to thank. I want to say thank you to the Life Unity Center. I think it's, the Life Unity Center here in Victorville for opening up their doors to me and the show. I really do appreciate them. However, I have to say goodbye as of today because I'm moving away as of today. And so unfortunately, the show as of next week, I have no idea where I'm going to do it from, to be honest. I say that with a heavy heart because unfortunately, times are tough, life is rough, and sometimes people don't do the right thing. They just kick you out of your house no matter what. And, which I feel is a very terrible thing to do, especially to me and my mom, just because we, didn't agree on some things. But here's what I promise each and every one of you. I will be back eventually on video. I don't know how long that's going to take. That depends on conversations that I'm having behind the scenes. I'm really trying to get another studio in the area, but first I got to figure out where I'm moving to. So look, but here's my point in sharing this as well. It's not really to be a pity party for Aaron. It's just meant to be a wake-up call to each and every one of you that now I've been going through a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I don't always talk about it, but Jesse, you kind of know, right? And so long story short, do you think I've handled it good, bad, or indifferent?
No, I think you handled it very well because I know if I was in your situation, I'd be freaking out. But no, you've been taking it really good. You've been breathing, haven't overreacted, which is what a lot of people would probably do. And by overreacting, you probably would have gotten to a very worse situation.
Oh, I would have gone to a very dark place for sure.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, it's a lot. I'm not going to throw everybody's stuff into the world because I respect everybody's lives. But recently went through a breakup. That's number one. That was monumental. I always talked about that family, and I wish them well, and I wish them the best in their lives, whatever they do. And I just hope they continue to stay safe, be safe, and do the right thing. But, it's difficult when you get close to a family and/or a young 7-year-old who, that's hard. But, okay, so back to reality. What do you do next, right? You lost your relationship, which was really your family. You've considered them all your family, every single one of them. You lose your place of business, meaning, you made a deal, but now the deal went south. Immediately, right after the breakup. That's odd. And then you have a situation happen to where the same owner actually says, you and your mother get out of the house that you rent from me, although you've been paying, well, he didn't say this, although you've been paying consistently the agreed amount, I still want you to get out of here, which I say, not cool. Just not cool. I don't think that's cool for anybody to have to go through, right? To which I talked to an attorney, and the attorney says, there's a moratorium. I says, yeah, I know. So, am I going to fight back? No. Am I going to call it out here on the air? Yes. You know why? There's a lot of people doing that around the world, and unfortunately people keep silent. Victims keep silent instead of saying, it's not right, people. It's not right. And that's how I deal with things. To which I challenge each and every person. Again, no need for violence. Back to Black Lives Matter and every other person that feels like they are the victim of this. Sometimes violence is not the issue, but call it out. You know why I'm okay with protesters? Protest. Come out virtually. Do it safe. Do it online. Let people know. You know what I love? When people put on the camera and show somebody else's habits and or them shouting at somebody else, you're like, you say you're not racist? Did you just see what you just said? Call it out. It doesn't take violence to solve anything. Might take a good attorney or a couple of attorneys, but You know what? Fine, I got days. I could be in court for, oh, wait, that's right. Courts aren't even seeing evictions, right? Do you see where I'm going with this? The reality is sometimes you have to mentally fortitude against bullies. And what I mean by that is this. I knew a little 11-year-old, and the little 11-year-old was bullied in school so bad, got thrown down, hit her head, hit her back, her tailbone, really bad. And I immediately said, okay, well, it's time for martial art training, jiu-jitsu. To which she took about like a few weeks, but then she kind of took it next level. She ended up beating everybody else but she always defended others. People never understood that. So she'd get in trouble, but she'd always get in trouble with the bully. So she'd take out the bully, but then, she was defending somebody else. So here's what I say. The bullies in your life, you got to stop them in their tracks and hope that they see what they're doing. And if they don't see what they're doing, then you got to go next level and say, fine, take you to court. That's fine. You don't want anybody to know this stuff publicly? Well, then you shouldn't have done it. Period, end of story. To which I say to people, thank God we have social media. Thank God we can call people's stuff out. Thank God we can call out the facts. I can't be even sued for slander because it's all fact. So there you go. My point is this. In life and in this world, you and I will be, we should never want to be victims. And here's how you don't become a victim to anything that happened to you, even if it was quite traumatic. You stand up for what is right, you claim your dignity, and you have enough self-respect to say, no, that's wrong, and there you go. Back to fortitude, back to strength, back to dignity. Each and every one of you sometimes allow other people to rob you of these things. And when you let them rob you of this, then all of a sudden that's when you feel even more pushed down, even more depressed, even more sad, even more angry. To which I say, don't get angry unless it's for good, which is why I love the Black Lives Matter movement, because a lot of that stuff needs to be called out. Police brutality, killing because of color and or racial profiling, that's a thing, it exists. On the flip side, though, I feel bad for the officers that are trying to do the right thing. They put their lives in harm's way. They don't know who's got a shotgun waiting in the vehicle. They don't know because they are on the front lines 100%. They are battling a mini war in our country in each and every territory. So I see both sides of the table, and I say, we got to call out the wrong stuff, get rid of the wrong stuff. I always say, do the right thing. People ask, what's the right thing? The person that's kicking me out, what's the right thing? Well, the right thing is not doing the wrong thing, to which you don't kick out somebody and their mother just because you're unhappy with them. True or not true? True. So here's what I say to each and every one of you. No matter what is happening in your life, no matter what is going on, no matter the people that are in it or leave it, you know what I say? You need to say into your heart. I know you guys think it's over here. It's technically right here in the middle. A little off center. You got to say in your heart, am I in the right or am I in the wrong? Am I acting like I'm in the right or am I acting like I'm in the wrong? For a good 3 weeks, I have done the latter. I have said, you know what? I'm not going to cause problems. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do anything because I want to make sure I'm not doing it out of haste. Back to something you said, Jesse. You said a moment ago, and it's true, I haven't overreacted because I've been kind of playing my cards close, saying, you know what? I'll see where this goes eventually. To which I say, don't react in the moment out of haste. If I would have reacted in the moment out of haste, I would have done a lot of dumb stuff. I used to be a very impetuous young kid. When I got angry, I'd get angry and I'd throw my fist into the wall. I think I did that when I was 17, and my parents said,
"Oh Lord,
what's wrong with him?" And kid you not, they took me to an expert, and the expert's like, well, what has happened in your life to make you feel that way? And I said, look, it's crazy, I grew up with a dad who's my stepdad, but he has schizophrenia. I grew up with my mom who's bipolar disorder. That's difficult, but she's handling it through medication. My dad's trying to handle it. That's difficult. My sister has special needs. I'm basically helping raise the family, is what I wanted to say at the time, but I couldn't voice it. I voiced it as of most recently to my mom, and she says, oh, I get it now. Some of you have had to do this with your family. Some of you are on the recipient end of your family, meaning you may have these situations, and I don't blame it. I understand it, is my point. I love my mom. I love my dad. I don't hold those mental things as a problem and or a situation. They were a moment in time. I know the person's heart. If you have a good heart and you have a mental illness, then you're still a good person. Period. End of story. You may have a chemical imbalance or something that medication is going to help, to which I say, hey, if it helps the family, take it. It's the ones that I say, you were prescribed that, you're not taking it, or are you causing problems around the family? Oh, well then you should probably want to take it. We don't know each other's business. I know you know more of mine than I will ever know of yours. But I share that openly to help people out, help families out, help know that no matter what life hands you, whatever life throws at you, sometimes it throws you jabs. I had a personal friend kind of go around my back to try to get his way with another owner. And I says, oh, okay, all right, I see what that's like. Okay, now I know where the dividing line is. So here's what I say. Divide the lines where they need to happen. Now, I was recently reminded on my social media feed as I went through it and filtered out certain pictures and certain memories, I kept a lot of people that have always been good in my life that I thought, you know what? I'm glad I have friends that, although they and I don't talk anymore, oftentimes I'm pretty sure if I picked up the phone, they would say, hey, how you doing? And I'd say to them, no, so let's not talk about me. Let's talk about you. How are you doing? Each and every person I've talked to this week, I've had conversations with people, strangers, because I feel that if you're in a bad position, try to deal with your position, but focus on others and remember you're not alone. And I think that's my message in this, all of this. Each and every one of you are not alone. Each and every one of you are, for lack of a better term, put on this earth to help one another. People always ask, what's my purpose in life? What's my purpose? And we think, well, okay, motivational speaker, maybe president of the United States, maybe book author, maybe radio host or DJ or music or wherever it is, whatever your life path takes you, I believe our mission is to help one another. Help your family friend, help your loved one, help the kid that comes into your life or your daughter. Help the people closest to you. And if you can help those people, then they can help affect change around the world. Where have we gone wrong in life? Here's where. When we neglect showing love to one another, even those that wrong us. You got to do it with balance. You can't be all loving 100% if they do you wrong. You just can't. I've had conversations with people and women who go back to abusive husbands or toxic relationships or men that just do the wrong thing 100% of the time. I go, why do you go back to that? I think he has a good heart. I'm pretty sure he can change. I say, you know what? Get your dignity back, take your honor back, and draw the line. And if they want to change, they'll change, and then they'll come back into your life. Allow them the space to want to change on their own. And if they go south, that should not be on you. Some people take issue with that. I say, no, divide the line. You have people in your life that respect you, that want to respect you, and want to know you're doing the right thing for the right people. Focus your energies on the people that deserve to be helped. There are some people, no matter what you say and or do, they do not want help. You can tell them, you can share with them what the best advice is, and some of you probably are that person. You're probably that person that people go to and they say, hey, what do I do? You tell them, and a week later, they're in the same position. You go, did you not listen to what I said the first time? Yeah, it's so difficult. Okay, here's some more advice. 2 weeks later, they come back. I'm in the same toxic relationship. I thought he was going to change. When do you divide the line? This is what I always say with the person at the third chance. I say, you know what? You've not listened to a word I've said. And you're going to continue on this path until you make the necessary cut to cut off that emotional tie. Once you cut off that emotional tie, guess what? Some people say, that's easier said than done. I have kids with this person. Or I have a life with this person. I don't want to just throw them into the wind. Then I say this: you're choosing your own path along with this person, but do not complain about your path down the line. Back to myself. I can't complain. I'm the one that made the choices that I made to move up here in Victorville, to help out the TV station. That was the only reason I moved to Victorville, to be honest. You think I want to live in the high desert? No way. It's hot up here. I hate the heat. But more on that later. We got to take a break. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right, for those of you tuning in, look, I get it. It's my last day up here in Victorville, and I hate to say goodbye. The community is a really good community. The affordability of rent up here is crazy insane. For example, you can get a 2-bedroom, 1-bath for like $800 for rent, which down in LA is typically like $1,500 minimum, depending where you live, right? So my point is, look, I don't know if I'm going to move to another house in Victorville. I don't know if I'm going to move, they call it down the hill, but back down to LA. I really don't know where I'm going as of yet. So I might temporarily stay with my mom back in Monterey Park. But whatever the future brings, here's what I say to each and every one of you. Keep pushing forward. You may not be able to deal with the emotions in the moment, but you gotta not give up. And what I mean by that is, don't get so down, don't get so pushed down, don't get so depressed that you want to give up in life. Because I feel, as much as I love the suicide hotline, I feel the majority of those that actually do commit don't even think about that. That's the last thing in their mind. So I say, let's head it off in the beginning, in the event that it ever gets there. And I'm gonna tell you some stuff here on the morning show which we're going to leave with positive mindset, but we're also going to leave with, if that ever were to happen to you, because we don't know when that's going to feel that way, where we feel like we're so pressed beyond movement that we don't know what to do other than to pray and or say, I'm ready. I'm not going to lie. I say that all the time. I'm ready. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready. Whenever you're ready, because I'm ready. But here's what I'm never going to do. I'm never going to take it before I think there's a plan for all of us, and the plan is, don't cut it off until it's... You understand? Don't make that judgment call for yourself. Live your life and live it well. Live each day helping those around you, and you will be better for it, 100%. You may have sad times. What? How much time? Oh.
2 seconds.
Okay. Welcome back. It's the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMT, 1490 AM. Joining our live audience there on Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube Live. I appreciate each and every one of you. So for those of you tuning in, I'm having kind of a moment here of sharing what I feel is impactful to some, maybe not all, but impactful to someone out there. Whenever I start the show, I always ask kind of a little question in my head. And I say, how can I help somebody out there? Is there somebody I can help other than myself, right? And you've been hearing me in the past weeks, be very positive, very mindset, very, but I wasn't always that way. 14 years ago, I was bitter in life. I was mad, I was depressed, I was sad, more because of I did dumb stuff. I ended a marriage before I felt it should have been over, and I'm the one to blame for that feeling, okay? I really am. Some of us have to take ownership of that and say, I kind of brought it upon myself, right? This one, not so much. Not so much. This one, I was like, okay, well, you know what? Or, okay, well, maybe I'm in the wrong again. No, not in the wrong, because I still want to do the right thing. And the right thing is encourage and motivate other people to be safe than sorry. And I'm not going to lie. I'm still going to go back and say some stuff about the Democratic and or Republican Party as it comes out. Because I'm here in this facility, I can't say that because I made a deal that I wouldn't talk bad about any one party. But when I have my show 100% in my own studio, wherever that's at, I will do and say exactly what is on my mind. Because my opinions are those of my own, not those of KMET 1490 AM. I used to say that of the TV channel. I always said that because, well, 100% Republican. So, yeah, anything I said was like, why would you say that? So it's like, well, you know what? Hey, it's my opinion. You got an opinion. Allow you to come onto the show and talk about your opinion. At the end of the day, I believe we both kind of agreed on the same subject, which is let's stay safe. Let's not believe the rhetoric, and let's do the right thing. Let's keep people out of the ICU facilities. Let's keep people out of the hospitals. Let's keep people safe than sorry. Let's do the right thing, people. So, back to reality. In life, sometimes you have to create dividing lines. That's what I say. So create a dividing line between those people that bring you down. You know the ones, no matter what you do in life, they kind of, oh, are you sure you're going to find love again? I mean, look at you. Or, let's see, there's probably 12 others I can't think of, but you know those people in your lives. Why do you keep going back to them? Separate the line. From a distance, you can love them, right? I mean, social distancing, what better time than to do that? But here's what I say. Reach out to the people that you know have a good heart and or will always be there with you no matter what. I was able to reach out to 5 really important good friends that I haven't talked to in years. And it was like we picked up where we left off. There are about maybe 55 that I reached out online, and they were like, oh, well, you know. And I realized my situation's a little too much for them to handle because they have their own situation. So I just stopped saying my own situation. I just say, how are you doing? If I'm doing bad, I can imagine what. Just let me know how you're doing. Oh, man. And then I try to offer some type of encouragement because here's what I know about me and my life. Since I worked through that 14 years ago, it will never get as bad as that moment in time. Because at that moment in time when I wanted to end my life prematurely, I had this thought, this epiphany was this. What if you're ending it before it gets good? What if your book is still being written, but you're finishing at the 3rd chapter when there's a total of 85 chapters? We have no idea what happens when we feel bad and sad and mad and angry, so it's hard for people to understand, but I would venture to say at least half of you have either thought of it or have actually done it, but never told a word or a soul. Because I find people constantly saying, even back to the conversation that I had with this young lady who's the executive producer of the Shift series, again, very important, it's on Instagram, go find it. She admitted herself, yeah, I got into this type of line of work as a social worker in order to help better myself as well, because I was going through some stuff. So there you go. Be kind, everyone. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well. All right, for the rest of you, my time is up on the radio, but it's not here in the studio here. However, I hate to say adieu. So will I be back Monday? Who knows? It would have to take some divine intervention for me to be able to stay. But here's what I know. Each and every one of you, I love you. I love you more than you know. Because you keep me going. Your comments keep me going. And I see the messages. I see the tweets. And I can't get back to each and every one of you because, you know, life. But if I could just do a very blanket one, I'm going to do one right here, right now. Thank you for your support. Thank you for always helping me to see that life is worth living. For if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have be on the radio, have a moment of hour of showtime, have a social media, whatever that's called. But here's what I say. Don't let it stop with me. You need to keep pushing forward as well. You need to keep pushing forward during coronavirus pandemic and or any other, a host of other situations, which I kind of blame coronavirus for all the stuff that has been happening. I think people are not quite in their right mind. I think people are doing kind of dumb stuff. And unfortunately, they're either overthinking things or not thinking through it enough. To which I say, when things are handed to you in a bad way, Just pause, reflect, do not make a decision in that very moment. Pause and reflect and do not act out of whatever you want to call it. Haste. Don't be rash. That's pretty good. So don't be hasteful. No, that's not a word. Rashful? No. Here's a good one. Don't be that person who throws caution to the wind just because you're angry in the moment. Do not throw caution to the wind because you don't know the full story about the person who is coming at you 100%. You may not know what they're holding on to deep down in their heart. You do not know what's going on in their lives or in their minds, so don't judge. I'm the first one to admit, at first I judge. Oh, wow. And then I go, but you know what? I don't know what it's like to be in your own head. I don't have to deal with the things and the emotions you have to deal with. I have to deal with the emotions that I have to deal with. But I can try and help you if you'll allow me to. So if you would allow me to help you as well, here's what I'm going to say. No matter what life throws at you, keep pushing forward. It may be a struggle. It may be frustrating. It may not even get solved right away. But then suddenly one day, you say, well, I see why that worked out like that. Well, that makes sense. Sometimes you see people's true colors. They come out. Better sooner than later, right? At least you know who's in your camp, who's in your tribe, who's in your immediate sphere. At least you know. I get it why that relationship didn't work out. Aha, now I get it. Or a family member walks away. And some want to return. Now it's up to you, right? How many relationships have I seen that they kind of go away and then they come right back? And I say, you know what? That's up to each and every person. Just let it not be a toxic relationship. Don't go back to somebody that's currently toxic. What is toxic? A lot of people ask me that. What is toxic? Well, it's the opposite of pure. Pure love, toxic love. There you go. That'll kind of give a little bit, no, it's a little confusing still. Okay, let's put it like this. If you are in a relationship and you feel drained, you feel emotionally spent, you don't feel emotionally taken care of, you feel emotionally completely 100% abandoned, you feel like it's all you giving and nothing in return, I don't even call that toxic. Here's what I call toxic. I call that maybe one-sided. I call that maybe the other person needs more help than you. Then you need to fuel up, not with some romantic partner off to the side, but rather, fuel up maybe with good friends by your side, right? To help you push forward, to keep you moving forward. Don't deplete yourselves of all your energy. Just apply the proper friends that will help you in that relationship continue pushing forward. What I say is toxic is the kind of person that likes to turn to drugs, likes to harm themselves physically and or mentally, and wants to bring you down right with them. Maybe it might be alcohol consumption. It might be overuse of medication. I've met a lot of people like this situation, and sometimes what they say is codependency is often the ability to be able to meet your match and or take your match from here, bring them down here, and then you both start sinking together slowly but surely. Don't let that happen to you. I don't know who's out there that's going through this. Thankfully, I never went through that. I've never gone through that situation. But for those that are, you got to learn to uncouple at least for a little bit. And then maybe if you truly both love each other, then maybe one day you can, that's what usually happens. Because unfortunately, the toxic part was the part that binded you together. Alcohol, drugs. There's so many other things that could bring two people together that they have a common reality in. And suddenly when you take those things out of your hemisphere, of your mind, you start thinking clearly and you start saying, why was I in that relationship? Sometimes that takes a good 3 to 6 months to be able to detox the brain. True. How many people are in abusive relationships which they wonder why they keep going back? They're the victim of molestation and they keep going back to that perpetrator saying, oh well. You don't divide the line there, you haven't dealt with it. You don't go back to the perpetrator, do you? So here's my point in saying all this, people. I love you more than you know, because you guys not just tune in, but I know you guys are going to push forward in your life, and you're going to spread positivity into the world where it is somewhat darkening as we speak. So, in the coming week, here's what I want you to know. I feel we're going to get a little worse. So I don't want you to feel like there's no hope. What I mean to say is this: China and India. I keep talking about it here on the show for a reason. Hardly anybody's talking about it here in the States. Not really. You have to search the news in order to understand what's going on. I recently talked to somebody over at BBC World, and she said to me, yeah, we cover the world. You guys kind of don't. I said, I know. So look at the world scene. India and China are going head to head right now as we speak. India invaded some of the land with China. They took over some territory that technically is part of China's territory. China has retaliated saying, oh, well, you know what? Gloves off. What does that mean for the rest of the world? What that means is, here in the States, I know you think, well, that's China and India. What's manufacturing. Financial. Ooh. And then World War III. Each and every country has already aligned forces with whether they're going to back up India or whether they're going to back up China. China has 1 billion approximately. India has, I think, 1.3 billion approximately people in their care. People that are frustrated, mad, angry, upset. Why? Coronavirus is there. And now a war? What are these governments thinking? Get them in the same room and say, hey, kids, let's grow up. Seriously, let's grow up. Get me in the room with them. Hey, you, grow up. Hey, you, grow up. All right. How do we focus on the people? This is how we focus. You, back off. You, back off. We'll talk about that later. Why don't we head off the real problem? People are dying in your countries. Or you feel that there's not enough land for you because you're a billion people, you're a billion people, okay. You know, here in the United States, we think we're overcrowded. We're not. There's so much land, there's so much territory. There really is. Lots of desert. If you could make and terraform that, it would be green all over the earth. Seriously. Why are we terraforming Mars when we could terraform the deserts here? Isn't this kind of becoming Mars in certain parts of the country? I say yes. So here's what I also say. Do the right thing. Make it happen. I think there's smart professionals out there that can do this. Put them in a room. Spend a month if you have to. If we could put people up into the moon or to Mars, we can terraform this earth to be able to go back to the way it was meant to be in the beginning. We have ruined this earth so much that we need to take accountability. We need to not say, like someone, oh, it's just a little bit. Well, a little bit doesn't really hurt the earth. You know what? If we were a little bit closer to the sun, we would probably be more like an uninhabited land. It would throw everything off. If we were just a little bit to the further side, we'd be a little too cold all of a sudden. Yeah, a little bit on this earth goes a long way. Each and every one of you have a purpose on this earth. It is not just to take care of one another. It is not to just take care of the vegetation and or the fields. It's not to just take care of the animals from the heavens down to the earth, the flying creatures down to the ones below the surface. It's not just to take care of all the other animals and or human beings. It's to take care of this planet for the people who we love, who we give birth to, for our children, for their children, and generations to come. It is for them. It is not for us right here, right now. We're going to live on this earth, what? The oldest person I think I saw recently, 112? Even if you get to live 112 years, shouldn't you want to leave the earth better than the way you found it? So here's what I say to each and every government out there. You need to take ownership of your own stock. You have stock, financial stock, then take that money and run with it and help the earth become a better place. Don't cause harm. Don't cause futility on this earth. If you can do that, you got my vote. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez, not running for president, but boy, if I did, I would go toe-to-toe with each and every government leader, and I would say this much. I would say this. You need to do the right thing. You need to step off of the people's back, allow them to survive, give them what they need in order for them to be able to pick themselves up. But all I've been seeing as of late is people saying, you know what, I'm going to throw caution to the wind. I'm going to throw caution to the wind. Money, 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 money. All income, no outcome. Boom. Done. And people are just okay and happy with that. To which I say, why are you okay with that type of life? Why are you okay with that type of... You're creating more frustration in the world than you are helping it. So each and every one of you, please remember this. Am I helping the world or am I making it worse by my own actions? Am I helping the people in my life or am I making them feel worse by my actions? Am I making them feel depressed? Am I making them feel mad? Am I making them feel bad? Am I making them feel pushed down so far they possibly want to end their life? Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe they can pick themselves up. But have you been the one to cause them pain, suffering, and or misery? Perhaps, maybe not. Some people think they're right in their own head. They don't think they're wrong. To which I say, you got to take ownership and stock of yourself. Hopefully you're not that person doing bad or harm to somebody else. And if you have, you say, I'm sorry, and you mean it, and you say, what can I do to help? What can I do to help you? Not the other way around. I've been asked by several people, what can I do to help you? I go, honestly, I really don't know. If you have like a job opportunity or a studio I can get into or a room I can rent, that would be great. If not, that's the only thing I need. But what do you need? Maybe I can help you, or maybe I can't. Maybe I'm not able to help you right here, right now. I had a very interesting business conversation with somebody yesterday, a good trusted friend, and I says, you know what, I'm not ready for it right now, but I think within 3 weeks we could totally rock with this, but I got to get situated somewhere. So that brings me to why this is my last day here up in the Life Unity Center. Or no, I'm sorry, it's the Life Impact Center. Thank you. Because I'd like to impact lives here at the Life Impact Center. Which, hey, if you need a place, this is a great place. You could create a band. You can have a band over there. You can have a band over there. You can have like a whole musical situation. I would love to stay. I really would. I just know... I don't really know where my calling is. I don't know where I'm supposed to go, to be honest. I let the man upstairs lead me where I got to go. And sometimes things just happen. Sometimes things even just turn around on a dime. And I'm like, oh, well, that's your direction. Okay, I'm going to follow it. To which I say this, for those of you that are God-fearing and or trusting in God or a higher being or even the universe, whatever you want to call it, something more powerful than ourselves, which are keeping the cosmos and everything together in its proper place, in its proper time. Whatever that person is and or entity or being that you want to give it, just remember, sometimes you're guided where you need to go when you think and ask the universe what to do. Or you pray and say, please lead me along the way or the path I need to go, because this path I thought I was on was the right path. I don't know if it's a continuation of the right path. I don't know if it's a continuation of a different path. If you're shifting me over here to over here, please show me what I need to do. And then you get a call out of the blue, or somebody talks to you, or you talk to somebody, or you get a thought. You know what? I should probably call and or message this person. I don't know why they're on my thinking brain. You know how many times I've made calls, people go, oh, we were just talking about you, or I was just thinking about you last night, literally. I was just thinking about you. Oh, how funny how two minds meet at the same time, right? To which I say, look, maybe that is divine intervention helping two people. You know, some people don't like to believe in angels. I think almost everybody wants to believe in angels, right? What if you had one angel on one side helping another angel on another side, meaning, okay, my trusted responsibility here needs help. Hey, angel over there. Yeah, you. Okay. Can you? Yeah, come over here. All right, let's have a little conversation. Can you make it so that we can do this and this and that? And they all think really fast, really light speed, right? They're fast heavenly creatures, and they do a lot of work over there. Trust me. So, so one angel says to the other angel, "Hey, can we make this work?" I'm pretty. Well, I don't know. Mine's kind of stubborn. Well, I mean, okay, but can we at least try? We could try, but I'm not sure if she's going to listen. Okay, fine. All right, well, let's try. So the other angel goes, okay, fine. And, puts little thoughts and theories and mental, and then, but the person's so stubborn, so upset, and so mad, they don't want to pick up the phone and just say, I'm sorry. Let's make it work out. Okay. So the other angel goes, yeah, this one's not working. I mean, I could try it no matter what, but they pray, they say they love God, and here we are, they're not listening. Oh, okay, well, you know what? Maybe we have to go with option C. All right, well, option C, is option C ready to go? No, option C doesn't. Wow, option C didn't. Well, okay. Option B, no. Oh, option B is you're going to be 100% alone, Aaron. And you know what I have to say to that? Okay. But here's what I got to say to you. There's option A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, and then A, B, 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 C, C. You know why? Because our universe, our thinking man upstairs, and or woman, whatever you want to believe, I like grand creator of things, right? That's pretty, okay. Grand creator of things, please lead me in the way I need to walk. Please lead me in the direction I should take. Please lead me, for I am not the smartest man alive, and or woman. And then something happens in our life. It happens, we go, well, that's odd. But then we question it instead of going with it. So here's what I say to you. When you think of these things and or you want to manifest, whatever you want to call it, I believe manifestation is actually asking of the universe, but you have those in the heavenly realms that say, they're asking for a request, got it. Okay, if I give them this request, they're going to do better? I hope so. All right, let's do this. And then they make it work, and then you do what? Now you become haughty. Now you become egotistical. Now you become like you know everything rather than doing the right thing for the people that is why you were helped out, to help other people. People that have a lot of money, are meant to help other people out, not hoard it. To those that create businesses and or create jobs, I say, good job, 100%. You're helping out other people. To those that just hoard, I don't think that's why you were blessed. And if you were blessed, maybe you were blessed by the wrong side, because I believe there's a good side and there's a bad side. Recently I had a conversation on that. There's a good side. If you believe in angels, you believe in the other side, right? Or some people just believe in 100% the bad side, but they don't believe in the good side because, well, it's all bad, no good, which I say not right. We are on this earth and we are not alone, people. What do I mean by that? We're not alone. We have you and I and each other and whatever guides and or ancestrals or whatever you want to put a label on, whatever is your thinking. I think we all know we're getting help or we're trying to ask for help from the other side to say, can you help this side? It's so frustrating, so difficult to live as a human being. Let me please do the right thing. To which I say, well, what do you think the other side's going to say? No. I'm going to say, all right, I'm not going to like it, but here's the right thing. And then you go with it. And then you find out in 5, 8 months, maybe a year, oh, I see why. You were guiding me the whole time. Yep. Sometimes we don't like the choices that happen in our lives, especially when they're abrupt, especially when you have no control over them. You're like, what did I do wrong? That was me for like a week and a half. What did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? Oh, man, how can I fix this? I can't fix it. Oh, my God, I can't fix it. It's not up to me. It's up to them. It's their choice, not my choice. True. Sometimes it's other people's choices in your life. So I'm going to leave with this message. Here it is. No matter what life throws at you, remember, there is a realm that wants you to be alive and well. They don't want you to throw caution to the wind. You got put on this earth to try to do whatever it is you're meant to do to help either humanity and or this world and or the people in this world, whether they be close to you and or strangers. So be a beacon of hope. Be a beacon of life. Be a beacon of, you know what? Yeah, my life was terrible, but I got through that. Or maybe you're going through a terrible time right now and you'll get through it eventually. But as a country, as a nation, as a world, we all need to try to get and feel better in the end. We need to, in the meantime, buckle down, get ready for a wild ride, but eventually this wild ride will end and peace will be here. Is that too far-fetched to say? I don't think it is. Not really. There's a lot of books that talk about peace. Some talk about nirvana. Some talk about a host of things, but everybody wants to go back to the way it was meant to be, right? Where did we go wrong? Is it up to us? Is it whatever your theories and or beliefs are? I say, I'm glad you have a belief. It's better than having no belief at all. True? True. And if it makes you want to have love for somebody else and for your fellow man or fellow woman or children and or older people, then you know what? You're on the right path, whatever path that is. All right, people, I've run out of time. Thank you very much. Big shout out to those tuning in. You know what? Let me do shout outs. Judy Garcia says, wowza, right before I turned your show on this morning, I had just saw a video on, YouTube about not keeping certain people in your life and shared it. Then I turned on to your show and you are talking about the same thing. Unfortunately, it's a thing. It's a thing in the hemisphere that I've been seeing a lot of and hearing a lot. Been hearing frustration happen all over my timeline. I see it on Facebook. I'm like, oh. Some people are very transparent. Some people are not transparent. Some people put on like it's a good show. I say, whatever you feel is your way of handling and coping. Don't judge the other person. Just know they're going through something really difficult. And if you open a messenger and say, are you okay? You don't know how many conversations I've started and or friendships I've had because of just me saying, are you okay? Because I feel like you're going down a very dark path. Let me offer you, or just talk to me. I got some time. I don't have all the time in the world, but I got some time. Algenia says, do the right thing. Yes. Litsa says, is watching. Thank you. Let's see. Maria says, I would vote for you. Well, you know what? I would like to run. But you know how much it takes? That's like $1 billion. You know how much money that could go? You know what my theory is? Here's my theory. My theory is you can spend about $800,000 all on social media and probably at least have a good fighting chance in the end. I'd have to win the lotto for that to happen. All right, let's see. We got Deborah tuning in. Thank you. Let's see. Gordon says, make sure I know where your next show is. Thank you. It was very nice listening to you the last month. You know what, Gordon? Thank you so much. It'll still be online, by the way. I'm just saying, studio-wise, I have to move out of this location and down into LA. I can't keep going back and forth, not in the vehicle I'm in. It's an old 4Runner, so I don't want to get stranded. Anna tuning in, thank you. Let's see. Maria says, take care, everyone, and have an awesome, safe weekend. Can't wait to watch the morning show again. You know what? Thank you. I appreciate you. Algenia says, let negative energy go. Elizabeth says, thank you, and you too. We'll miss you guys. Aw, we'll be back, Elizabeth. Let's see. Paul Hernandez, thank you. Let's see. Okay, let me clarify here, because maybe I think I may have misspoken. My morning show's not going away. I still have the time slot. Whether it's going to be over the air on radio and or video is kind of where I'm in the middle of right now. I don't know how that's going to turn out, to be honest. My computer, I'm giving back. It wasn't mine to begin with. It was a gift. So I don't have a streaming device to be able to stream 100%, but I can still call in via Skype. So if you guys want to download the app and you still want to be a part of the show in some way, shape, or fashion, you can download it at KMET 1490 AM. I don't want to cancel all of the interviews that I have. I have really good interviews scheduled. But here's what I know. God works in mysterious ways. So hopefully maybe this weekend something really cool will happen. Maybe it won't. But if it does or doesn't, we don't live our life just because things happen good for us, right? We live our life and we say thank you for whatever good comes into your life, and whatever bad comes in your life, you say, help me get through the bad in order to get to the good. To which I think they say, it's not going to be good for quite some time, but you know what? Or they'll say, you know what? It's going to be good immediately. Just, you got to have faith. You got to have belief. You got to have trust. Those three words are thrown around so much that people forget what the meaning is behind them. So let me take another minute. I always said I was going to do a second hour show. Maybe this is the second hour show on the last show. If you have faith, you have belief in something that will eventually happen, although it hasn't happened just yet. For some of you, you read the Bible. For some of you, you read other prophets, Muhammad and others, who Buddhists have a faith as well, right? Not taking anything from any other religion. Promises of a coming future. Promises of a better life. Promises of something to push on forward for, right? Faith is the assured expectation of the things, though not yet beheld and or not presently seen. faith. Faith goes in tandem with belief. If you don't believe it, it's never going to happen. Manifesting is what people say, and they throw out that word as though they can bring it to themselves by just thought, positive mindset, put up a vision board. But here's what I say. Do you know how many people are up there helping you out, whether you think that they're ancestors and or angels or any of the above? Saying, that'll help them be a better person. They say it. They say they'll spread their wealth around. Well, then let's help them out. Let's see if it happens. Okay, do all that work, and then that wasn't the result we wanted. You're going to manifest. You better continue to help the people in your life. Seriously. So but you're not alone doing it, 100%. I don't believe that. You got help. You have help. Don't forget the help is helping you to help other people in your life and or people you don't even know. Don't forget that challenge. Okay, so belief. Faith, then belief, and then what? Well, for some people, that's all they need, faith and belief. I say hope. Have hope that eventually things will work out. And that allows you to make good decisions. That allows you to say, I'm not going to think short-sightedness. I'm not going to lash out at this person because I'm mad, I'm angry, or I'm upset. I'm going to pause for a minute, give it about a week, and then maybe, okay. And then you get the moment, you go, well, you know what? Dividing line, boom. Cut that off. Emotionally, physically, spiritually. Some people call them cutting cords. Emotional cords is what some call them. Some call them energy ties. Whatever your belief is, look, we're all interconnected with one another. Some people keep circling around our lives. We wonder why, right? Some person comes into our life right at the perfect moment. Make a call. You know, I was just thinking about you. I don't know why I was thinking about you. You ever get that? What's that? Something that we can't see, belief in the unknown, belief that there is more with us than against us in the other realm and or on this earth. If you're still watching, I know you're one of the ones that want to do the right thing. You're not alone, though. You may feel isolated, you may feel alone, but here's what I love about social media. You will attract those that will help you in your life. I 100% believe this. I 100% know that when times are tough, the right people will say, here you go. And or, what do you need for me to help you to get on in your life? It's true. Recently, I was reminded of a conversation I haven't had in about a decade with this friend who, he and I parted ways, and we had a big moment, and I said, look, I forgive you. I knew you lashed out at me. I knew you viewed me as some type of, whatever the reason is, I forgive you. Let's move forward. To which he says, I am sorry. I know. I get it. And I get it from your side of the angle of things. You probably thought I was just a know-it-all. Okay. So we both saw each other differently. We have to take ownership. But here's what I care about. I care about you and I care about your family. I had this conversation with a trusted friend. He and I went back quite a ways. But my point in sharing this is this. No matter the people in your lives that were there at one time and then are gone, give them a call. See if they are willing to do the right thing and maybe help you out in life. Maybe they can't. Maybe they know somebody that can, right? Don't be so prideful. Don't be so judgmental about yourself that you are unwilling to ask for help when you need it. Back to depression, back to anxiety, back to feeling loss of hope. It's okay to say, I need help. That's probably the hardest thing for people that feel so depressed, so mad, so sad, and so angry in life. And so if you don't want to say, I need help, because you got this, right? You don't know how many times I've heard that from people that I know need help, but they're like, nah, I got this. It doesn't look like you got, but okay. So don't say, maybe I need help, but just say, hey, I'm going through a rough time. Can you help me out? Maybe not financially. I'm not asking for a handout. I'm just saying, maybe it's whatever it is that you need. So don't take advantage of other people's kindness. Don't take advantage of other people's givingness. Don't take advantage of anything in the world. But back to my friend. I was there for him when he went through a divorce. And it was a traumatic divorce. And I opened up my house. At the time, I was married as well. And he slept on the sofa. He didn't have a place to go. Had nowhere to go, really. Was emotionally drained, emotionally spent, emotionally just downtrodden. He never thought his marriage would end. And then about 3 years later, his daughter died. His eldest. From a killing, from another person. So when I visited him, we shared a meal. And I said, I'm sorry you had to go through all this. And I know there's no words that can help you right now. But I'm glad you got through it. And I believe your daughter is in God's memory. He says, yeah, I know. And I believe that if she's in his memory, technically she's alive in his memory because he knows each and everything she ever did in her life. And I believe she wants you to be happy. I believe the people that we have lost in our lives want us to be happy. Whether you believe they died and are going to come back in a resurrection, whether you believe that they are there right now, whatever your belief is, eventually, you hope, you may not have faith, you may not believe, you may not have hope to see them again, but guess what? This life is not all there is. Come on. There's more to it. But we have to keep pushing forward. We have to keep moving forward. We have to keep remembering if this is not your last day and you open your eyes, then it is a reason you need to stay here. It's a reason you need to live your life. It's a reason you need to keep pushing forward. Keep pushing forward, even if that's all you got. Sure, you want to be able to deal with stuff, but sometimes you're not ready to deal with stuff. Eventually deal with it. Surround people. Here's back to my own personal life, right? And I speak from experience. 14 years ago, I was so downtrodden, so bitter, so mad, so angry, so sad. That one moment was honestly not the last moment I had that moment in my head. Do I want to end my life? I think I had it for a couple years after that, to be honest. But I never did like as extreme as I was about to do. And thank God I stopped my own self, right? Or was it God? Was the thought that went into my head possibly from the other realm saying, how do you know it's not going to get great eventually? All right, well, let me see. Whatever that thought, whatever that thinking is in your head, make sure it's positive and it's upbuilding. If it's exactly the opposite, and you hear in your head, you're worthless, you're not worth living, like you have no friends. You hear like those type of little subconscious minds. Some people call them subconscious, some people call them other stuff. Whatever you believe in, you need to stop it in its tracks. What? No. You take ownership of yourself. You say this, yourself, I need you to take control of us. We got to be good. And almost inevitably, I can tell you this much, yourself always wants you to live, keep living, not give up. And if you're getting that thought process in some other, whatever you believe in, whatever you don't believe in, root it out. Get rid of it. Surround yourself with people that are smarter than yourself. Surround yourself with people that care about you. Surround yourself with the people that don't want you to end it sooner than later. And I say this because, again, this show, the Shift series, or Shift show, talks about this. I covered it on Instagram. We're going to talk about it tomorrow on Instagram. So you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Instagram. I'm going to have this conversation with the host tomorrow. And there you go. I'm going to leave you with that. Go follow the Shift series. Go follow the Shift show because we're all going through a shift. It's sad, but true. But let's do and end up on the right side of things, okay? I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. Thank you for spending time with me on the morning show. Make it a great day. Whatever is happening in your life, make sure to live it. Bye-bye, everyone.